My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Pack your things, leave somehow. Blackbird song is over now.
Well, if that doesn't relax you, nothing will. We said we were chill. At least we didn't lie about that much. How you doing, Orty?
Man, when you start with Lee DeWise, I got to take some CBD drops and just get into the moment. So I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Boy, there was some fuckery today, though, huh?
It's either gonna be a really long or a really short show.
Okay, I'm on board for both.
Right?
Yeah. Chill chair spin, everyone.
All right, I agree. So, yeah. What you been up to? What's been happening? Not in the world, because I mean we know what's been happening in the world.
In our work, yeah.
Yeah.
I did my 50th birthday this weekend.
And happy birthday again, once again.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, it was cool. We had a really good, clear day, no smoke. I mean, it's like I talked about last hour. The smoke blew in today. I could look at the sun without sunglasses between the smoke and the cloud. But this weekend was totally clear. I went up to high altitude, hiked around where the leaves were changing, came back to a monster plate of Thai food, and all good.
Monster plate of Thai food.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Tried a new dish, ginger shrimp. That's a lot of kefir. It was really good. So
yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah,
ginger shrimp.
Yeah.
I like things with lemongrass. Thai food. Mm-hmm. Thai restaurants will usually give you one or two things with lemongrass. But
yep. The one thing we joke about it with Mexican food out here is that all Mexican food is really just 5 items done up a different way. Where Thai food, at least in my experience with the Thai restaurants I've been to, it's like 5 recipes, but with every kind of meat you could possibly want, or tofu or whatever. It's like you got, in my case, I got the ginger shrimp. Could have been ginger beef, ginger pork, ginger chicken, ginger tofu, ginger eggplant, ginger, whatever. So it's like whatever they have on hand.
Yes.
They can just throw in the sauce, and then you dump it on top of some jasmine rice, and you're good.
Yeah, change the sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, vegetables to order.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's Thai food. And it's to some extent pretty, I don't want to say reliable.
Yeah.
But
consistent.
Somewhat, yeah. Yeah,
Archer in chat just mentioned coconut curry Thai right now. There's a place up in Reno that does coconut curry eggplant Thai. It's so good. I mean, the eggplant, it becomes like chewy coconut, like you're just gnawing on a coconut, but it's chewy, with the consistency of eggplant. So good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah. How about you? What did you do this weekend?
I worked.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Bummer.
I have internet things to do. So I did internet things.
Internet things had been done.
Yeah, but I wasn't like chasing down injuries with Band-Aids and things. So that's good. It wasn't that kind of internet work. So that's a good thing.
Not the kind they're doing in San Jose right now.
Yeah, I don't know if they are or not. Did they ever get in the building?
I don't know.
Facebook,
but okay, we're gonna have to build to that point because that just adds to the comedy of errors.
Yeah,
we got to start at the beginning on this one.
Okay, well, let me just say though, the janitors at Facebook are having a bad day. Everyone at Facebook is having a bad day. When you're a technology company and the technology goes down, everybody in every building has a bad friggin' day.
You often wonder why social media sites don't have an 800 number to call to customer service. Because when things like this happen, there aren't enough techs in the world.
Yeah, they would have just turned them off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they would have turned them off. Nobody. Okay, so Facebook went down, in case you didn't know, and
in case you've been under a rock or out in a boot or whatever. But Facebook, Instagram,
WhatsApp,
I think Oculus with it.
Well, WhatsApp, but then by the end of the day, a lot of stuff had gone down. Which, of course, we're going to talk about why that might have happened. But I'm going to start this whole conversation.
Real quick, even our own servers, our own web host. I know you watched the Discord channel too. They put out notices saying if you have anything directing to Facebook, like join through Facebook or anything like that, disable it because it's gonna completely lock up your site.
And Facebook serves ads now, right? So people have, and what that means is you have. That's why we're here. Talk about why it happened. So what they were telling us is that Facebook services were also having problems. So they serve ads, logins, all sorts of stuff. So if their whole system is down and somebody logs in with Facebook, when they come to your site, they can't log in.
Right.
Because their ID is tied to their Facebook ID. If you're serving ads, your page is not going to load. If the Facebook code is at the top of the page or high on the page in the header, right?
Just freezes right there.
Huh?
It's just going to freeze right there.
Because that's not going to load. So Facebook being down could and likely did cause problems for lots of other websites. However, we don't know that that's the only thing happening. There are reports of some broader DNS or, other types of routing problems, because it looks like there are multiple different routing problems that were going on too. So it was kind of a cluster of a perfect storm of problems. And
it was hard to tell if it was global, because this was right around the time that heavy usage in U.S. and Europe was hitting. So that's when it became first apparent. Now that we're moving into Asia waking up. so
China was having huge issues today too. So like the two, and I don't even remember what their issue was, because there was so friggin' much going on at one time. So, but China was having problems and outages too. I think they had some ISPs down. I don't know if it was DNS or BGP related. So, anyway, I'm what I was trying to say. So a lot of the stuff that you see on Twitter and what some of the researchers are saying is absolutely valid, smart, makes sense. Some of it may or may not be true. A lot of what's being assumed or proposed, or even like there's supposedly leaks coming out of the company. I mean, I don't know how we can really believe those. I don't know how they're actually really going to be able to say for sure that there was nothing nefarious went on. It was just programmer error. We grabbed some old code from somewhere and it was all messed up. I don't know. But you mentioned before we get started how there's very little reporting about it. Like real reporting. Right.
This was actually the surprising part, because while this was all happening, you and I were like going, okay, this is going to be the focus of the show tonight. This is going to take up a huge amount of time. We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff to digest. Let's get on it. And we got really proactive. We got on it early. And there was fucking nothing.
Right.
I think it was around 3 o'clock your time, noon my time, when finally there was an article in Bleeping Computer that was basically, hey guys, this is going on, but nobody at Facebook is talking. So we finally got some stories, some traction started to come out. But this is after 4 hours of Facebook being down. I mean, this doesn't happen.
Yeah, and some researchers
even on the main news, like CNN and the other news aggregate sites and everything else, they were a mum. It was very, Facebook's down. No, you have the largest company second largest company in the world and the largest communication platform in the world, the largest social media platform in the world, has been dark for almost 8 hours now, and that's all you're saying is, and Facebook is down.
It's a source of information, whether you like the information or not. It's a source of information for a lot of people. It's a connection for a lot of people. So it's dual use. It's media and it's communications. It's media and its connections. It's so, and it means a lot more to, like, a lot of people in other places don't have other options, or not a lot of them. Right, and they don't.
Or in many cases, their media is literally state run.
Yeah.
So the only way they get information, especially in like China, where Twitter is blocked, but Facebook can kind of get through. Right. So that is their window on the world. Now, before we get into, we got to break away from. We need to explain what we think.
Okay, so there's a conventional wisdom about how the whole thing started with Facebook as a source. Kevin Beaumont was the first researcher I saw. He is very
Same.
rarely, he's very rarely wrong about anything. I mean, he's consistent, reliable, and it just makes sense. Okay, now go.
Okay, so what happened when people first started noticing is like, oh, okay, ha ha ha, DNS error. No, DNS completely. There's no record of Facebook on the internet whatsoever. Nothing anywhere is pointing to Facebook. The only way you could get that is if the autonomous systems that handle all the routing and the speed, which is known as Border Gateway Protocol, the BGP, when that gets updated, and there's an episode of Stargate SG-1 where they just say, you know what, we're just going to take that planet out of the corrective update, and then they won't be able to use the gate anymore. That's kind of what happened, but on an internet level, where somehow somebody fucked up with their BGP update and completely removed Facebook's existence from the internet. It does not exist on the internet right now.
Yeah, and multiple things happened. Some of the stuff that happened didn't make sense. So, and I don't know if when it was reported on Twitter by a researcher. There were screenshots. I can't tell you that they're valid, right? But what they said was that for a moment, the A records did not exist for Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So
they still don't as of the reporting.
Okay. So
yeah,
and that's, I mean, if they don't exist at all, right? I mean, that's not BGP. I don't think. I mean, is it that they don't they don't exist somewhere, or you can't see them? If they don't exist anywhere,
there's no record of Facebook existing anywhere on the internet because the BGP isn't pointing to the DNS servers. Then to Facebook servers, then it doesn't exist.
I know
it's the same thing that you would get if you were.
But the two things aren't necessarily.
Facebook.
Yeah, but they're mutually exclusive. I think they're mutually exclusive. Maybe one feeds the other, one communicates the other. I have no idea. I mean, I know that. So name servers are set up with their own DNS records. So they have their own name server, and that BGP was wrong, right? So they have their own internal name server, and they wiped the records for it, right? So BGP is like a roadmap for me to get from my computer to Facebook servers. Basically, right. I like to describe it as a roadmap. People describe it different. The Cloudflare, and probably almost every class I've ever watched on it or video I've ever watched on it describes it as a postal service. That how the letter gets from you to is through all the little post offices, but basically they're just switches that receive your signal and say, "Oh, I'm going to send it here," so that they can send it to the next hop, so that they can send it to the next hop. But there's a roadmap for that, like in a GPS system. Tells you how to get from A to B. It tells,
and it's autonomous, so and it self updates, so that way it's like the fastest route. You know, it's like when you get on your GPS, you give me the route to. Do you want the fastest or do you want the most efficient?
Right.
So they're not always the same thing.
Somehow those records got scrambled and updated, shared with the greater internet, and it propagates itself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it is believed that Facebook did this to themselves, that this is a cell phone. Because it's kind of like, we're updating our information, because it's not like, somebody else is going to be updating Facebook's information.
So it was internal routing that they
botched.
That's why. Oh, okay. So people have been telling me things today, and I think it just clicked with me what they're saying. They pushed an internal route out to the internet. Well, see, that's what happens to countries when they do it. Basically, because they're filtering traffic.
Yeah, that's what Turkey did when Turkey was trying to shut down YouTube, where they pushed out we'll call it a malicious BG. Anyway, so they pushed it out, and so they inadvertently got all of YouTube's traffic routed through their country for a brief moment. And other countries have tried to do this too when they've tried to shut down their internet. It's not something you fuck around with. It's one of those things, you know what? We don't know how it works, just let it happen. Kind of thing.
Yeah, I thought that was the Czechs or whatever, and Turkey's basic. No, Turkey was YouTube. They blocked everyone from YouTube.
Right. Yeah. So yeah,
maybe that was
yeah.
That was
so in this instance, this is the kind of thing where, to add to the comedy of errors, that the people who can fix it are not the people who work for Facebook or the people who will be contracted by Facebook who can fix this problem are not the people who are likely to be in San Jose. So they have to get them to San Jose, which takes time. Now here comes the comedy part of it. Nobody can get into the buildings of Facebook.
Yeah, because the card access system is tied to internal domains that
are not pointing to anything anymore.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Nothing is working, external or internal, for Facebook right now. I wonder if somebody swapped them. See, okay, this makes sense. Dude. So what if you had, you were pushing 2 websites to production at once and you pushed them to the wrong domain? Both of them.
Yeah.
Like
or in
that
this case,
kind of thing. Yeah.
So,
I mean, then it would all come down because none of it's coded right.
Right. So now you have Facebook that nothing can find. You have a lot of internet web services that use Facebook login. We actually use it as an option to log into the chat room. I don't ever recommend that. If it says login with Google, login with Facebook, choose login with your email. Because why? But you know, the thing, the best part about this is that the memes, the memes have been nonstop all day.
Yeah.
You know, Facebook finally skimmed and rated all of the women on the planet, so Zuck shut it down.
That's funny. The MySpace Tom is the hacker. He's the guilty party. MySpace Tom.
I posted one in chat. Facebook when the DNS went down from Star Trek Next Generation.
The best part about everything on the internet is the memes, though. So this is really nothing different than every other thing on the internet, because the best part of all of it is the memes, to be quite
well,
funny. And
that, you know, it took about an hour before everybody started to figure out that, okay, so this Facebook thing, they're going to be down longer than Anna D was the first person. So everybody to get their social media fixed, because their Instagram, their WhatsApp, and everything else was down, started flooding towards Twitter. So the other thing was everybody on Twitter saying, hey, welcome Facebook people, leave your shitty memes.
That was funny. Yeah, that was really funny. There was another really great part. See, I forgot it already.
What did Facebook have on Hillary Clinton?
Right, exactly. Facebook didn't kill themselves.
Right, yeah. So.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
Oh, so I know the astrologists. Wait, the astrologists are the other best part, because whatever Mercury is doing, whatever that thing is that Mercury does that everybody complains
Mercury
about.
Mercury in retrograde.
No, thank you. Yes, and it has something to do with communications.
Right.
They say it happens every time. I have no clue if that's true, but anyway. So yeah, that's the other really funny part of it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just they're writing themselves, and as of showtime, Facebook is still down. So we are at 12 hours now.
Wow.
Facebook doesn't go down.
They're sweating, and they're tired, and they haven't slept.
Well, they've taken 5% of their stock value was shaved off, which means Zuck personally lost $7 billion today.
Yeah, no, and I'm not talking about Zuck. I'm talking about whoever the guys are that are trying to fix whatever.
Oh, Zuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
got
Zuck
broke.
couldn't care, but yeah.
No, he's just pissed. And
Sure. I mean, if I lost
Yeah.
$7 billion, well, I mean, whatever.
yeah, somebody's
But-
pulling their hair out. I feel bad for them. I feel
Yeah.
really bad for them. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but now the
anyway.
one thing that I didn't hear, and now Archer, you're in chat. You mentioned it earlier. Was Oculus down too?
Yeah. Oculus actually, so if you look at down detector and you assume that the charts and the time is somewhat accurate, and this is outage reports, right, that come into down detector. So everything lags, but you expect that it probably lags around the same amount from website to website.
Yeah, he said Oculus was down too.
Yeah,
Jeff says
it went
Facebook
down,
is back
so
up,
no,
and he strongly suggests changing your password. Always, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if there's problems, and I started to say this today, but when stuff like this is happening, don't be trying to log into the site. If you go to the site and you're logged out, close it and go back later. You don't need to log in that bad when
Right.
stuff like this is going on. But anyway, what I was saying, if you take all of those things into account, Oculus looked like it had problems first before anything did. And whatever happened with Facebook, it happened pretty much across the internet at the same time. And it's really their spike was just.
I can tell you why it looked like that Oculus was first too, is because when it's pinging a game, the rate of ping for gaming is 100 times more frequent than a ping for a chat. Or
Okay,
web
well
update.
that
Or
makes
Messenger.
sense, but Facebook is included in that, right? So I would assume the two are.
Yeah. No, they're all, yeah.
Yeah,
And this
they're
was,
connected.
once again, so why I was so against Facebook buying Oculus. Because, first of all, you knew that they were going to make it to where if you engaged in wrong thing on Facebook, they would turn your headset into a brick. And also because, as we saw this June, when AWS servers went down, and we were joking about that too. That when you get big, the house of cards crumbles easier.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I guess this is a mistake that I don't know because I still don't think we know what happened.
Was it a hack? I don't think so. I highly doubt it.
I think it was a major screw up.
Was it Fed shit? And because on social media, you always got the tinfoils who say it's Fed shit. And
I don't think anybody would be surprised. Okay, so that's the thing, and that's the reason that it comes up to begin with. Because somebody probably said I wouldn't be surprised. Because you wouldn't be surprised.
No. Likely, no. But this comes right on the tail. This is something I saw this weekend. It was one of those things where thank you, Twitter, for auto-refreshing so quickly I couldn't see it past my eyes grabbing on what I was looking at before the page. I lost it in my feed. There was some article somewhere this weekend saying that Facebook and Google, because of their size, should have seats on the United Nations. And the comment was, are you paying attention yet? And but before, obviously, I could jump into it to see if that was just, Jim Hoff being Jim Hoff, or was that, a legit news story. It was gone. And like that, it was gone.
And like that.
Yeah. So.
That was on Facebook.
That was it was on Twitter, but they were talking about Facebook and Google having seats on the UN. So.
And it was a story.
If anybody saw that story, please send it my way so I could find out, make sure it wasn't just Jim Hoft or, Prison Planet, but it was actually a legitimate news story.
So, I don't think I've ever had that happen to me, that I saw a story like that and then I couldn't find it. But I wouldn't be surprised that someone said that.
Right. And that's definitely something that you would see on Vox or The Atlantic or,
Yes, they would make that claim. Yeah, Vox would totally say that. Totally be an op-ed in Vox. In the New York Times, that op-ed would not really even get my attention that much. It would probably be like, Times, oh, they're so funny. That would be my response.
Oh, you scamps.
Yeah, I mean, really, like, there they go again.
Speaking of scamps, and there they go again. Anonymous is back. You want to go to commercial break? You want to come back with Anonymous?
No, let's do this going out, because this is about the media, and not the media, because if you look at what Krebs has said about it, Brian Krebs, it's funny. Not much really, just like one comment, kind of mocking or something, and a lot of them aren't paying attention to it at all. Vice ran a story in the beginning, but hasn't run a lot since then. But some of the Tech Radar is one of them. That was the one I saw. But they're not the only ones. They just won't let go of the story. It's just like there's actually something there in that data that hasn't been through 3 layers of redaction already. Or 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around for months. It's been passed around for months. It's not, it wasn't like a new hack or anything. According to the stories that they're writing. So it's just, it blows my mind that this is like really important to them, or it did, but now I'm like, oh, okay. We were supposed to be burned out on hacks. Or something.
Well, okay.
Or something.
And we are. But, it's like you said, this isn't a new hack. This is stuff that we talked about this hack over a month ago with the distributed DDoS. I can't remember it's not the attack, but it's the distribution of secrets thing. They kind of... Yeah, so they put the information out. And this goes back to the Texas Heartbeat bill, and they got hacked, so a whole bunch of Texas employees and blah, 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 blah. They were being doxxed on this website. And so here comes Anonymous again with a press release. You've lost the game as part of their Operation Epic Fail.
So what they did...
they're regurgitating this information again, and the press loves it because they are, against this bill. So they're like, look at the hacktivists are doing it again.
It is about the bill. Yeah, it definitely is, but it's also about January 6th. And, the Proud Boys are in there, and they didn't even start until after, supposedly, right? So, anyway, that's the story, but I don't know why I'm supposed to trust any of it when... not to that extent, right? It's not really fresh evidence or anything.
Well, it's not even fresh information. This is a news story. This is a story from 2 hours ago on Tech Radar Pro, but this is old information. And it's the kind of thing when it comes to hacktivist shit, I'm pretty blah about it now, in the fact that our data has been breached so many times. It's not a matter of, oh my God, I've been doxxed. It's a matter of, okay, how do I once again protect myself from this data breach? So, it's, when they go after your livelihood, like the hacktivist groups do, yes, obviously bad. But saying you found my information on whatever site, of course they got breached. Of course the government got breached. Of course, all you did was you paid somebody for my data. So
right.
I guess I own you because I made you that mad that you spent money
that was the other Facebook story.
So,
right, that was the other Facebook story right after this started, and these two tie together, right? So right after it started, right after the Facebook thing started, actually no, it was like a week ago. Someone posted they had 1.5 billion Facebook users. names and
credentials.
password. Yeah, for sale. It was a scam, right?
Mm-hmm.
But none of the journalists checked the data. So,
Right.
And they reported on it anyway, and come to find out today, of all days, it was a scam.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but
yeah.
And we talked about briefly, and we didn't prep for it for the show, is the Facebook whistleblower, that's actually something else entirely, where that is somebody from, and again, you get the tinfoil hat on, that Facebook went down so that way the Facebook whistleblower story would get buried and mixed up in with the Facebook being down thing and, kind of pollute the story. But no, there was a whistleblower who said that Facebook is known for a long time how either their internal studies have shown how they are damaging not just to public discourse, but also health and mental wellness and everything else too. So, and that their tactics are actually harmful.
Right.
And that's the Facebook whistleblower that you saw out there for like a minute before Facebook went down. So you put your tinfoil hat on and say that, oh, you know what, we're just going to bury the story with Facebook. The word Facebook is going to bury
Facebook.
Yeah, so.
Facebook varies. I mean, that's one of the theories that I'm like, it probably makes sense. And everything is like in like degrees of probability, right? The most probable thing is somebody just messed up really bad.
Which is the most likely.
Yeah, that's the highest probability. But the probability of Facebook just doing it for CYA, and I mean, they're the victim in this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the probability of Tom getting his revenge, high.
High is Tom. Wait, is Tom all that?
Tom from Facebook?
Yeah. No, but MySpace Tom? Is he all that?
Yeah, MySpace Tom. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know Tom was all that.
He's back, and this time he's got a badge.
Maybe he did it for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
If it was a hacktivist, they're pretty badass.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah.
And they're not claiming credit.
We would already see ransom.
Yeah, they're not claiming credit.
Right.
They're not fame tagging it. All right, we can do the thing now.
Do that thing over in that place?
Right, if you wanna.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. We gonna do that, man.
Nuts.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Spring will be here soon, so if buying a new home is on your to-do list, right now is the time to call Quicken Loans. Learn about which mortgage options make sense for you and get a jump on your competition. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For JD Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hi, welcome to the Subway ad for the new Sesame Ginger Glazed Chicken Signature Wrap. How would you like it?
I'll take a...
Sports announcer at home?
Yeah, how'd you...
We just know.
My wife picks up the new Signature Wrap. It's got double the rotisserie-style chicken mix with a sesame ginger glaze. She appears annoyed at me, but she shrugs it off. Those sweet and savory flavors are calling her name. She lifts the wrap and she takes the bite! Incredible! And now she's closing the door on my... Subway, make it what you want.
Limited time only at participating restaurants. Double meat based on average 6-inch sub.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
We're back, and here's Ordy. No, I'm just kidding. I said and because everybody knows why I said and.
Yeah, that's
people talk about it.
We were talking about that last hour too. How you avoid saying and because everybody says and we're back.
Yes, I avoid
and
it.
I'm Ordy.
See, you notice things when you produce that you wouldn't notice otherwise.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So. Yeah, because you just sit and listen to people with nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also listening for their first word.
And bring the music down.
And it's often very often and. Anyway. So.
Anywho.
Yeah. So tech media is getting raked over the coals. Just to bring back around that point we were making, because I don't know if we did. And it's well earned. It's beyond well earned. Probably. We've talked about it.
Yeah, tech media they are as lazy. I mean, okay. They're not the laziest form of media, and there are some really good ones out there. It's like Bleeping Computer, Krebs on Security, a couple over at ZDNet. They do really good. The rest of them just regurgitate. They're as bad as corporate media, but still nobody is as bad as games journals. Games journals are the absolute lowest life form on the planet. Tech media is slightly above that. Now you get TechCrunch, TechRaptor. There's some good ones, but still,
they're either really great or really
lazy
bad.
as fuck.
Yeah, really bad. And some of the ones I think that might have more security skills or maybe more offensive skills aren't necessarily the... Yeah, I don't know. Some of them, they seem like they're more technical. They may not be, but they're not necessarily the better ones. The better ones are the ones that just... that care.
Right. I mean, they're there to write the story. And it's like in everything. You got Glenn Greenwald now in politics, where he used to be a hack. And since he got run out of mainstream media and he's over on Substack, he's actually pumping out some serious journalism. So
Yeah, well, the guy from the Record, the Campus Cody is his ad. I don't know. I can't pronounce his name. I don't want to butcher it, but I mean, he was kind of ranting about. Well, he was talking about the Facebook scam and how nobody checked it, but he was ranting about just that thing, and talking about how they should do it, and they should. They should verify that a hack is actually a hack.
Well, and it's like with the it's that whole too good to be true thing. So with the good example of that is the Atlantic and their reporting of what Trump said about vets and the cemetery and all that. It's just too good to be true. 1.5 billion people getting their login credentials and and all their data stolen from Facebook. That's too good to be true. That nearly 1/4 of the planet got hacked. I mean, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And it's just.
Yeah. And you know what? Some little dork in an anime avatar is not going to be the one who bought it.
Well, I mean, they started writing for the general public because the general public became interested in it, right? They got interested in hacking, so these guys are trying to write for them now and trying to do it at a much higher volume. It ain't working. They just need to develop their own standards or something. Police themselves. Heal thyself, physician.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, some of them are noticing it, so that's a good thing. And Google, speaking of good things, because we like to segue here.
Yeah, we're good like that.
Yeah, the Linux Foundation is doing something, and Google got behind it.
Yeah, the Linux Foundation started with a project. It's $1 million project that aims to bolster the security of open source projects. And a lot of the IoT is based on the Internet of Shit is based on open source Linux based products. So Google got behind this, and they're putting in $10 billion. And well, it's part of the president's $10 billion cybersecurity push. Excuse me, but what it is that rather than putting a bounty on finding a bug, they're going the opposite way with saying if you code your shit or if you find, if you fix the shit that's out there, then we'll give you anywhere between $500 and $5 for small improvements that have merit, up to $10,000 for good software hardening coding. So, yeah, I like this better than the bug bounty because the bug bounty principle is that, if we don't tell anybody, then we have this security breach that we can utilize. Where in this case, it's, you get paid to fix other people's shit on an open source free platform that most people they're coding for it out of joy, because it's a hobby.
Yeah, the security people will find a way to monetize this. Or developers will learn, more likely, developers will learn how to do stuff to monetize it for themselves. Because that's pretty,
Yeah, but in the open source community, it's generally freeware anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you're doing it as a labor of love. It's kind of like, making your little... your GitHub thing to make your Pi do, your Raspberry Pi do things, or your Arduino robot do things. So it's like you're doing it for your own enjoyment. But now it's like, what? There's money to be made for me looking at that code over there, and as part of my hobby. It's like
absolutely. That a lot of I see some. This could get really interesting. It's cool if they administer it right, because that's what happens with bug bounty programs so much, is that they get in trouble because they're dealing with a high achieving group of people for the most part.
Right.
They have high expectations, and nobody can meet them.
Mm-hmm.
So good luck to Google.
Yeah, this is all part of Google and the Open Source Security Foundation. And this goes back to other topics that we've talked about too, where a lot of satellites that are going up. I mean, not so much Starlink, but a lot of these small payload science projects or whatever that you can get put on cheaply on commercial rockets now. They present a security breach. So this will help with that too, because a lot of them are using freeware or open source software. So
that's not scary at all.
Yeah, okay, so we weren't going to talk about that. I've got to bring it up because I posted it in a couple Discord chats, and it just bugs me so much that this exists that I've got to talk about it.
Do it.
There's an electric heater that mines Bitcoin. And I'm sitting next to my computer that I forgot to crank the fans up on before we got on the air, and my computer's currently running at 86C, and I don't need this goddamn heater. I've got one sitting right next to me while I'm mining and doing podcasts. But yeah, so it's $900 for a phone-operated crypto mining electric heater. Seriously, just build a gaming rig. Buy a gaming rig. You'll get a better hash rate, and it's useful.
But they can't market that to you as a heater. I think that would probably violate something.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll post the link in chat because, like I said, I posted it in a couple Discords, but the fact that this exists makes my flesh crawl.
Yeah, it's not because it's not a product innovation; it's just a marketing innovation.
Right. Yeah. No, it's literally just a gaming rig that doesn't have a monitor output that you control from your phone, and it's just a waste of goddamn resources.
I hear ya. Speaking of crypto, what happened at Coinbase?
Well, I'm looking for this thing to post in chat. Okay, so Coinbase, it's not a big hack. It's an annoying hack, and it speaks a lot to the problem with the culture at Coinbase, in that people would report that they had been hacked, that, hey, could you help me get my shit back? And most of the times they'll either victim blame or not reply at all. So finally it's become a big enough thing where Coinbase has said, okay, look, we're working on it. We're sorry. The 6,000 people who have been hacked, we're going to get them their money back at because they reported it. By the time Coinbase took action, it had already moved through so many wallets that the Bitcoin that the crypto had become untraceable. So this is it's a problem with Coinbase in that their customer support is shit, absolute shit. But in this case, because the sample group is so small. And in it, the people that complain, it's like, then they would start to get phished because they'd find out that they also, because, people would transfer from their Coinbase to their Binance wallet. And then so that way the hackers would be able to figure out, or, the crypto thieves would be able to figure out, oh, they have a Binance account too. So what we're going to do is we're going to send phishing emails saying, hey, because we're sister sites, we need your login credentials for Binance. That kind of thing that dumb people fall for. Now, I'm going to totally say Coinbase needs to harden their shit. They need to make it harder in a help you kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Don't make it for people to be breached so easily. Harden your SMS, two-factor authentication. Stop relying on your goddamn CAPTCHA to keep people out. But on the other hand, too, this is money, people. Coinbase should treat themselves like a bank and put that level of security down. But also, so should the users. You should be using your own 2FA stuff. You should not be using passwords that you use everywhere else. You shouldn't be easy to phish. So I'm not going to victim blame here. I'm just going to say that treat your crypto like it's real money, because it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and that's really disturbing.
Yeah. And I'm not saying all 6,000 of these people who did that, but they made themselves pretty easy to breach. Because this wasn't like a Coinbase hack, because if it had been, Coinbase has millions of users. It would have been more than 6,000 people. This was somehow their data got phished off of the dark web. And this isn't in the story. This is my assumption, just based off the low sample size of victims and how they all kind of have similar stories. And CAPTCHA's shit. I'm sorry. This is current year. We should be moving beyond CAPTCHA.
Yeah, I think 2FA is beyond CAPTCHA.
I highly recommend it if you're not using. I mean, okay. Full disclosure, I use YubiKey. I recommend YubiKey. I also use Coinbase. And I use my YubiKey with Coinbase. I use my YubiKey with my LastPass to get into my Coinbase. That also requires YubiKey. So be more proactive.
Yeah, definitely. Be more proactive and be more proactive about everything.
Yeah, not just with your crypto security, but with your security in general.
Yeah,
I know in many cases it's too late. The barn door has closed after the cows are long fucking gone. But that doesn't mean you can't go back and, unfuck some of the damage that you did to yourself.
That's true.
Using 12345 as your password everywhere since you've been on AOL, your shit's breached. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Nothing to add?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, do something different every month or every week. I mean, treat it like it's a 12-step program. You're addicted to insecurity and you're going to give it up. So do something new every week or every month. Start using a password keeper. Go delete old accounts that you're not using anymore. That's it.
Use services like LifeLock, and I recommend LastPass, but that's not the only one.
Start using a VPN.
YubiKey isn't your only choice, but it is pretty inexpensive FIDO.
Yeah. Make a list of 6 things, do one every week or month, and in 6 weeks or 6 months reevaluate.
Keep your master password written down, but put it in, I'm sure a lot of people have a fire safe, and have that as your master password for your 2FA.
Yeah.
Then you only have to remember one password, and if it's complicated, if you use, like a mnemonic device, like Quick Bound Fox jumped over the lazy dog, then it's unguessable.
Yeah, I like to do passwords you can remember. Like, everybody should be able to remember one password that's somewhat random. The first letter of the first line of your favorite poem. The first letter of every line of your favorite poem.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
Or song, or whatever.
Yeah. Add some other characters, numbers, random characters, special characters, ampersands, whatever.
Equal signs, tilde.
Yeah.
The one thing in my job of helping, with in my IT job, tilde is rarely used. I never see people use that. People forget it's there. So use that.
And there you go.
Yeah. If you don't know which key that is, that's the little dot thing that's above the tab key to the left of the number 1.
Yeah, so you can, for your password keeper, you can remember one somewhat random, difficult to crack password. Nothing is
And
impossible to crack.
Yeah.
So make it difficult. Don't make it easy for them.
It's like I always say, nothing is foolproof for a sufficiently talented fool.
Indeed. This is truth. This is the way.
This is the way.
Speaking of the way. One thing to mention, just to put this on your radar, most of you probably saw it today, but if you didn't, there's a new Navy contractor in Malta that's accused of stealing either $1 billion or $50 million, because the only news story that I've seen about it says both.
That's quite the discrepancy.
Yeah, I think maybe the entire scandal, because there's more than one contractor. I think maybe the overall scandal is $1 billion, and this particular one is $50 million, but I don't know. So keep that on your radar. There's something brewing out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all
Always
I have.
on our radar. That's all you got?
That's all I got. Where are you going to be this week?
Oh, damn. Let's see. I am Wednesday night. I am on Robinson and Horty with Rick. On Thursday, I am on The Culture Shift with Brad, where we turn our skeptical eye towards the entertainment industry. We are going to be doing a makeup episode of Juxtaposition after, doing our primer on demon possession. Then back around on Monday with FUBAR, One Nation Under Fu with Polita Bunny, and, of course, right here with you immediately after on Cyber Chill. You can also find me on Twitter as that Amish one, number 1, and Minds and MeWe as Ordy Packard. How about you? Where are you going to be at?
I'm going to be just right here chilling. No, I'm going to be producing Aggie and Brad tomorrow. I don't know that I'll be on with Aggie Friday. Hope Mickey's home resting by then. But we'll see. I'll let y'all know. That's it. Back here Monday.
That's it?
Back here Monday with you again. Yay.
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 Love the Mondays.
Yay.
Hooray.
Hooray. So I guess that means we're out of here.
I think we're done. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Always a good time, and you guys are the best. We're getting bigger in chat every week.
Yay, us.
Yeah, we're getting bigger in Sweden than ABBA.
Sweden and ABBA?
Never mind.
I like Sweden. We're out of here.
Anyway, we're out.
We love y'all. We'll see you next week.
Vaya con huevos.
Pat your shit.
hurt, flirt, blood, squirt, stuff,